Takes more than guts to be a gangster. It takes good ideas. And I hope these ideas help you. Hey, what's up, guys? This is your mob boss, GangsterKT. And today we have a mob agenda video just talking about some things on the mob's mind, some of our planning for March, a new tune on the rise, and the end of the casual spender, if it happens, but kind of what I see happening from some of the recent things going on with MSF. So let's hop right into it. All right, so first off, again, some of the things going on recently, and specifically the Kang and Moonstone pricing. I feel like we could be seeing a new area, and that's or new era, excuse me, and that's the era of the end of the casual spender. So I'm using the term casual very loosely here. Talking about people that can spend $150, $170 a month. That's probably considered by most to be more than casual. But that's, ones that are just buying certain offers, the new character, maybe buying the strike pass, and then none of the other offers. So there's definitely people spending a lot more. But that's kind of what I'm talking about here. And again, the Kang and the Moonstone pricing really made this big picture all take shape. Something that's been going on for quite a while. And I really want to try and explain this well. So I have a lot of notes here, things that have been on my mind to try and help guide me through it. So again, this has been going on for well over a year now. I think it really started when they started making new characters less available in the events, where before maybe you could get a high 4-star or potentially even a 5-star from events. That changed to definitely a 4-star, and then changed to maybe a 3-star, or excuse me, a high 3-star, maybe a 4-star, etc. So that's been slowly occurring over a while, as well as some of these other things. So I think the key part here is just how important those new tunes are. They're just incredibly critical for the game right now. A big part of that is the power creep. It makes sense with the mobile game. Scopely has to make them appealing, so they really make those new tunes powerful. But there is still huge power creep going on right now, both in stats and in basically the amount of text and the abilities, how many different unique things the characters are doing. Additionally, new tunes are so important because you get less shards. Again, you get quite a few less shards from the event. Sometimes you're lucky to unlock one if you buy the $50 offer. You're definitely lucky to get 5 stars these days with that offer. It does occasionally happen depending on your luck, but overall, there's just much less shards available than what we used to see a year or two ago for new tunes. Um, Next one, there's game specific modes. So, like we see with Masters of Evil, they can put that Crucible tag on them, and next thing you know, this new team is just destroying everyone at 5 stars, even with some low red stars sometimes. But those game specific modes really made it so they could make the criticality of these new characters very important, whether it's raids, Crucible, etc. So, that's a big part of it. And then I think another part of it is it's longer for the characters since between their release before they become farmable. So not only do you get less shards of them, but it takes longer to when you can start farming them. So all those things really add up to one big picture. And that's just how critical it is to get new tunes as big as you can, and how much harder it is right now to do that. But Scopely has one solution, of course, right? And so that's buying the new tune. So you guys who watch my video, I do buy the new character offer one time. It's something I've always done, and it's really so that I can get each new character to 5 stars to start with. So that used to help with the legendary releases, the way they did them, and the way I think a lot of people are guessing they're going to be doing them going forward. And it also just helped with playability. If you have you're going up against 7-star Krakens. A 5-star with a lot of trouble and good RNG can sometimes take that out. A 4-star probably can't. So that 5-star was always my goal, and used to be able to do that pretty consistently with the $50 offer. But now again that you're getting less characters, it just makes buying that offer more important to this mission. It's a higher percent of the overall relative shards because you're getting less. So now getting that 120, 115, whatever it may have been, is a more percentage of your total shards. Then it also lets you use the character much earlier, before they become farmable, sometimes before the event starts even. So it's really valuable to have that. So again, Scopely's taken this past year, setting this whole thing up, making characters less available, making them more important, making them longer to be farmable. And I think it's really put a lot of people where they do buy that new offer, and that's the most efficient way to play. So now what they've recently come and done, and they did it with Gambit, and now with Kang, and then now with Moonstone, they're making these new offers, or excuse me, the new character offer more expensive. So For instance, the one that was $50, now there's a $60 offer in its place. However, you get less guaranteed shards, and then you also don't get the chance at that big orb pull. So you get 100 shards guaranteed, which is a 3-star, and I mean, that's okay. But before you'd get, I think, a guaranteed of maybe 103 shards with the orbs. I forget the exact number. It'd be 6 times 8, 48 plus the 55. So yeah, 103 shards. But then, on Titania, I had an 80 shard pull on the orb. So that was amazing. Allowed me to get my Titania bigger. So you always had that chance, and now that's just gone. So in general, if you're spending that $50 or now $60 amount, you're actually getting quite a few less shards than you were before as well, in addition to having to pay more, the $60 now. So the other part of it is to be able to get a guaranteed 5-star, what I was talking about kind of was my goalpost and tried to go to before. You're not even guaranteed to do that with that 100 shard $60 offer. So when I did the old $50 offer, where again I probably got 110, 120 shards, somewhere in that range for Agent Venom, I didn't get him 5-star. Kang, even though I bought him, I wouldn't have gotten him 5-star unless I opened up some of his orbs as well and went crazy on the event. So it's not even guaranteed if you buy that $50 or now $60 offer that you're going to get a 5-star. So what do people feel like they have to do, especially if this is tied to a potential future legendary? Well, you might have to buy that $100 offer now to make sure you get that guaranteed 5-star, and I'll use guaranteed loosely there. I'm not even positive 180 shards will guarantee a 5-star depending on the event. So all these things, I think, again, add up to what I'm calling the end of the casual spender. So this is, I'll say, slightly exaggerated based on the conversation I just had. But if you're looking to spend and guarantee yourself a 5-star new tune, the way the game's historically been, that would be $50 a month. And let's say we average 3 new tune character releases per month. That's $150 a month for the new tune that you're spending. And then, oh, by the way, Strike Pass, that's changed too. So before, you'd spend $20 a month on the Strike Pass for a total of $170 a month. So going through that new or that same exact dynamics in today's day and age with the Moonstone pricing, if you want that guaranteed 5-star, you're going to spend $100. So you are getting more overall shards, but I think making people feel like they have to spend $100 per new character. And if there's still 3 new characters a month, and then, oh yeah, let's say you buy the Strike Pass. Well, now you need to buy that twice, and you are getting twice the rewards. It's a good value. But again, for those looking to kind of minimize their spending, now they may feel like they have to buy that twice. So that adds up now to spending $340 a month. So it's just amazing how quickly this happened, how good of a job Scopely did of making this all feel mandatory so that you need to do this to stay competitive, which is true in a lot of cases. Unfortunately, it's not just a feeling, it's the way that the game is working right now. But it's just amazing how quickly those prices went up to accomplish the same thing. So again, I think this may be the end of the what I'll call casual spender, if you want to call $170 a month casual. But I know if this pricing stays the way it was for King of Moonstone, I'm really going to have trouble buying one of the new character offers anymore. Whether the next team's a raid team or whatever it may be, I may just end up going back to fully free to play and then get the characters when I can and try and enjoy the game that way. But we will see. So next thing I want to talk about is a new mobster, and I'll say on the rise. It might just be me that I'm just now realizing how amazing she is. But one that I've put a lot of investment into recently, and from a lot of war testing I've done, has just been killing it, and that is Nakia. So Nakia is gaining favor. She's so important in Crucible right now. I know there's people can use the M'Baka, the Killmonger version, but I've been using War Dogs because that's where I've had my investment. And the hardest Crucible match that I've had so far against the Wakanda team was one that had a 7 red star Nakia. She just absolutely wrecked me the first time. The second time it spread around, so thankfully I was able to beat her, but it was horrible efficiency, and she just kills it. And that's in Crucible. That's not even her desired game mode. So in War, her attack whenever just anyone takes a turn and she has a charge, which she starts with quite a bit, it is unbelievable. When I had her just at 5 red, 6 yellow stars, she was pinging people for about 500,000 damage in more practice mode. And now that I put some more resources up in her, I've actually taken her to level 91 in T16 and have a few more random pieces on her after that. And then I did actually buy her 6 red star upgrade. So I'll go more through my priorities on that when I do my Glock Watch video coming up here within the next week. My Red Star priorities, but I did go ahead and put a Red Star on Nakia today, which I'm very selectful with. But she is just so amazing, and that War Dog team in War Practice can take out pretty much anything except Gamma and except Underworld, but everything else, even 100k, 200k punch-ups on Dormhold teams, they were taken out, I'll say fairly easily. Had to figure out how to play it right, but once you did, they were definitely taking them out consistently. So I really think Nakia is gaining favor. If you're looking for someone to invest in right now to help out your War and your Crucible, I think she is a great choice. So last thing I wanted to talk about was some kind of overall happenings in March. So some of the pros and cons with what's going on right now, as well as what I am prioritizing in March. So to start off with the pros, I think first off, I want to mention Kang. So Kang is an absolute blast to play. I do have him at 5 yellow, 5 red. I actually have him at T17 already because the gear was available and how amazing he is. But he's on my arena team every day now. He's absolutely dominant in Crucible. Pretty much any match he's in, when he gets to do his ultimate, your team wins. So Kang's just been a lot of fun. I won't say a big surprise because I think everyone expected him to be good and kind of demanded that where they did the changes. But overall, Kang's been a huge pro for me. Number two is Apocalypse. We haven't seen him yet, but come on, we've been preparing for this for a year together, all been marching towards the same goal, and we're about to get him in a matter of days here. So that's definitely a pro and something in March that is good. And then I think another thing, a lot of people have been asking for this, but it looks like March, sorry about that, looks like March can be a chance to play catch up. So might not have as many new characters coming out. Might be able to just work on some of the things that have been, lower priority for you. Maybe that's the Rebirth team for raids because your Web Warriors have been doing it for you, so now you use the Rebirth instead. So just a chance to work on some things there. Some of the cons in March. So I think first and foremost want to mention the March events. So again, there's no new character release tied to them. They are just pretty much horrible. So I don't know. I'm not too worried about them. I'm still going to try and do them. I'm going to spin gold when the gold spinning's going on, spin cores when that's going on, and do them the best I can. But I'm not stressing them like I would if there was new characters tied to them, or if there was more valuable rewards, or if they were easier to complete. They all look really hard and really difficult, and so just not happy with the March events overall, especially for a 5th year anniversary celebration. Hopefully there's more to come that we haven't seen, but definitely a con in my mind right now. Next thing, and I think I beat this to death towards the start of this, but the Moonstone pricing just really makes me nervous that that's going to be the new bar going forward. And we can't have that. Hopefully it goes back to how it's been, the standard $50 pricing with the chance at the orbs, but this new pricing model really sucks. So last con, and I know this has been beaten to death too, but the Kang event, just horrible how much mandatory blitzing that was. Doing a whole rotation and not even getting enough for an almost guaranteed 2-sharp orb. Just didn't feel good, and it was an awful, awful release event for one of the most important characters there's been. So, next, getting into priorities for March. So, what am I going to be working on? So, first off, similar to what I've shown in some of my previous videos, but I am going to be pretty much maxing out my Masters of Evil. I love that team. I think Crucible is one of the most important game modes, one of the ones you can be most impactful in directly. So I'm going to be maxing them out. So I want to take them all to level 91, level 92, whatever that is for me at the time, and then do have them all so far, except for Moonstone, but all to T16, and actually do have Kang to T17. So they're my top priority right now. Number 2 is working on the Horsemen to T17 as I can. So they're still my top priority there. Even with the Masters of Evil have conflicting gear with the Horsemen, I will prioritize the Horsemen first so that one day I can get to that big boy Apocalypse. But the Horsemen teams are usually also the most effective teams. So additionally, I'm trying to take them all to max level as well. Not spending gold on some other supply things. I am able to have a little more gold. So I'm trying to take my Horseman teams and keep them at max level as best as I can, especially Gamma. And then Darkhold would be my second priority there. So after that, because of what I was saying with Nakia and just the team in general, I'll look at things and say, hey, in Cosmic Crucible, we use a minimum of 12 teams, maybe 13, depending on how things are going in the season. So where do I think the War Dogs or Wakanda for me, but War Dogs for me, are going to be out of the best 12 teams? And right now, I'd say they're, number 4, number 5, somewhere in that range. And so they're going to be along for quite a while. We have our Horseman teams. We have Tangled Web. Definitely a good team to work on if you don't have Weaver maxed out already. That's really important. But I do. And so I'm really going to be focusing on War Dogs, getting them as high as I can, at least all to level 90 and T16. Maybe not take Shuri to 90, but take the rest of them there. Just knowing they'll be around for a while. And then lastly, I have Rebirth, but I'm really just using that to represent the rest of your Crucible team. So for me, I have Rebirth on defense. I think they can get some good efficiency wins, have some RNG with how hard Winter Soldier can hit. So I don't mind putting some more into them. It'll help me in raids too, even though I don't need it there. But maybe, 6 months from now, that'll be a huge deal if I put more power in them. So if I can get through all the other priorities listed there, I'll start working on teams like that. And then lastly, I wanted to touch on Blue ISO 4. So for me, for the first time, since as far as I can remember, basically, since Blue ISO 4 first came out, I actually have a choice in who I put that in. So now that I have all my characters for Apocalypse at Blue ISO level 4, the next person that I started was actually Kang. So don't have him done yet, but started using my ions there. And basically we'll go through and just do it similar to how I would a Red Star promo priority list, or how I'm prioritizing my gear and leveling, and just start including my Blue ISO 4 and those other people. I will say I'm hoping I have enough to do one for Blue ISO level 5 right now, but I actually don't have the level 4 to do it. So it's not something where you can just go start spending all your level 4 and stop saving it, because you do need it for that ISO level 5 as well, which is really annoying, but it's just for the individual 2% piece upgrades. You don't actually need it for the ISO level upgrade itself. That takes all the level 5s. But so again, make sure I am doing Kang because of how important he is for me right now. But besides that, I'll probably be saving my Blue ISO 4 to help start getting some characters to Blue ISO level 5. Also expecting that those ions will have more availability here soon once people do start unlocking Apocalypse. So that was everything I wanted to cover in this Mob Agenda video for today. So curious of your thoughts on if you agree with the death of the casual spender. Again, if you think that term's even appropriate. But let me know what you think there. If you like this video, or if some of my priorities helped you, make sure to put a hit out on that like button and subscribe. So it still helps me out a ton, as I'm still relatively very new in this YouTube channel game, but I am absolutely loving it, and that's a huge part because of you guys. So thanks for watching this. As always, I give you my word that this is the best advice I have. All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one. Peace.